again in another episode of Understanding Basic ECG. This lecture, we will discuss a very important topic about the AV nodal function, which is the AV nodal junctional block. We have reached station 3 in the impulse travel. Previously, we discussed about the SA node as a station 1, where the impulse is generated, and then station 2 about the atria and how the impulse is conducted, and could the abnormal impulse generated in the atria causing supraventricular uh, arrhythmias. And now we have reached the AV node. We have two famous abnormalities of the AV node. Either we get the looping reentrant circuit generating episodes of tachycardia, which we call paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia or junctional tachycardia, and we discussed this in the previous lecture, or the AV node, which acts as a gateway between the atria and ventricles, could block the conduction of impulses, blocking the incoming normal impulses originating from the SA node, leading to AV junctional block. To remember the normality before going to the abnormality, we discussed previously that the impulse is generated in the SA node, travels through the atria to the AV node, where there is AV nodal delay of conduction of the impulse to the ventricle. So it acts like a gatekeeper between the atria and ventricle. And you remember that we mentioned previously that the AV node and bundle of His, this is the only electrical connection between the atria and ventricles. So the normality is to find P wave for each QRS complex, and the duration here of the PR interval, which represents the atrial depolarization and the conduction through the AV node, is to be 3 to 5 small squares or 0.12 to 0.2 seconds. The impulse conduction between the atria and the ventricles could be blocked, and we have 3 degrees of block. We have first degree, we have second degree, and third degree. And in the second degree, we have Mobitz type 1, we have Mobitz type 2, and we have 2 to 1 conduction. Let's go together through them one by one to understand them in an easy manner. So, first degree AV block, simply, it is delay. So it is delay in conduction. And if there is delay in conduction, we expect the PR interval to be prolonged. So if you look at the PR interval from the start of the P to start of the Q here, you will find the PR interval is 9 small squares, which means 9 by 0.04 means 0.36 seconds. This is prolonged because the normal is 3 to 5 or up to 0.2 seconds. But the rest of the ECG is normal, and the PR interval is fixed. So all of them are 9 small squares. You have slow rate, so the heart rate is 60 beats per minute, is regular, PR interval is more than 0.2, and it is constant, and the QRS complex is normal. So if you find only bradycardia but with prolonged PR interval, this is first degree AV block. Second degree AV block, which we call Mobitz type 1 or Winkbach after the name of the German physiologist Winkbach, you can remember it with the fatigue. If you look at the ECG, you find that the PR interval becomes progressively prolonged. You find if you look at the first PR interval here, it is 6 small squares. The following one is 7. The following one is 8. And then there is P wave without a QRS complex. So there is dropped beat. There is completely blocked beat from passing to the ventricle. And then it restarts again by the same pattern, 6 small squares, 7, and so on, and then drop the P. So to remember it, imagine that the AV node is like a guard in front of a gate, and it passes the first impulse with a slight difficulty, and the second with moderate difficulty, the third one with severe difficulty, and then blocks the fourth one, and so on. So it is characterized by prolonged, progressively lengthening of the PR interval. So here the PR intervals are not equal. Remember, in the first degree EV block, the PR interval was prolonged, but it was constant in all the cycles. But here, this is gradual, progressive lengthening of the PR interval with blockage of conduction of one, so we have dropped beat. QRS duration is normal, and this will lead to regularly irregular beats. In second degree AV block, type 2, we call it Mobitz type 2. So here there is blockage of the passage of certain impulses, but it follows the rule of all or none. So either it passes the impulse normally, like the first one here, like this one, and in this case you find the PR interval is normal and constant, and you have a normal conduction of the impulse, so you have normal PQRST complex, but you will find occasionally dropped beats. Occasionally dropped beats. So you'll find P wave, but no QRS complex. So it is all or none, either to pass the impulse completely or doesn't pass it completely. So here you find the heart rate is 40 beats per minute. There is regular rhythm, but occasionally dropped QRS complex. There is no gradual prolongation like the second degree type 1. And there is no prolonged PR interval in the normally conducted impulses, and the QRS duration is normal. What is the difference between type 1, Mobitz type 1, and the Mobitz type 2? In Mobitz type 1, we can remember it by predictable fatigue. So it is gradual prolongation of the PR interval until one beat is missed or dropped. In type 2, it is unpredictable blockade. So you will find dropped beats, occasional dropped beats. The warning sign in type 1, you will find PR interval progressively lengthens before the drop. But in type 2, PR intervals remain entirely constant, but conduction is all or none. You will have dropped beats. The anatomical side, usually type 1 happens at a higher blockage in the AV node, and type 2 happens due to block occur lower in the bundle of his. As a rule of thumb, if the PR interval vary, it is type 1. If they remain exactly the same before drop beats, it is type 2. The third pattern of type 2 EV block, it is 2 to 1 conduction. So simply, you will find constant pattern through the ECG that one P wave is conducted normally, the following P wave is not conducted. One P wave is conducted normally, and the following one is not conducted. The following one is coming here above the T. And then one conducted and another one is not conducted. So exactly, you will find two P waves per one QRS complex. We should have one P wave per QRS complex. But here you will find two P waves, but one QRS complex conducted. So this will establish the baseline of 2 to 1 conduction ratio. What about the PR interval? In the conducted beats, actually they are normal and perfectly constant. So in the conducted beats, there is no abnormality. And this will rule out wink back or Mobitz type 1 because there is no gradual prolongation of the P wave. There is rhythmic dropping of every second QRS complex. So there is regular but bradycardic ventricular rhythm. In third degree AV block, there is complete disconnection between the atria and the ventricles. All the wires are cut. There is no relation. And what do we expect if this happens? The atria would be stimulated completely separate from the ventricles. So you will find the P waves are completely dissociated from the ventricular activity. There is no relation. We mentioned previously that you will find one P wave per QRS complex. But if you look here, you will find that the P waves are coming at fixed intervals because the atria are working regularly, but actually it will come at different places in relation to the QRS complex. Maybe here, maybe in the middle of the T wave, maybe before the QRS, maybe after. So there is no relation, complete dissociation between the P wave and the QRS. Second point, because the QRS here represents the generated impulse in the ventricle, so it will take the ventricular pattern, which is wide, and these are QRS complex. It is not the narrow QRS complex, which we know when the conduction takes its normal pattern through the ventricular conductive system. So if we look at this ECG, you will find that the heart rate here is 40. There is bradycardia, and it is regular, but there is complete dissociation between the P and the QRS complex, and there is no PR interval because there is no such relation. And at the same time, the QRS duration is wide, more than 0.12 seconds, because of the ventricular origin of the impulses. If we go into this comparison to differentiate between different types of AV block, in first degree, it is just prolonged fixed PR interval. It is more than 0.2 seconds, and it is fixed but prolonged, and no dropped beats at all. Second degree Mobitz type 1, there is progressive lengthening of the PR interval and then dropped beat, and then restart again, progressive lengthening and dropped beat. Second degree type 2, you have constant PR interval, but you have occasionally dropped beats. Second degree 2 to 1, normal in the constant PR, but you have fixed ratio dropped beats. So every 2 P waves, you have one QRS complex. So it is 2 to 1. If the dropped beats happen occasionally, this is Mobitz type 2. But if it happens at fixed ratio, this is 2 to 1 conduction. And third degree, there is complete dissociation. So there is no PR interval because there is no relation between the P wave and the QRS. Also, we don't have the principle of dropped beats because there is no conduction between the atria and the ventricles. So all the atrial beats are dropped because they don't pass to the ventricle, but the ventricle is stimulated through the ventricular cells, which will generate wide QRS complex. I hope this is helpful to differentiate between different types of AV block. In the next lecture, we will go into the fourth station in our trip and we'll discuss ventricular arrhythmias.